When man travels with God, what he's doing is that he is navigating the different quarters of wisdom. Now, I hope you know that John came in John chapter 1 verse 1, and John 2 spoke about his own beginning. So what these guys are talking about is not time. The beginning of John chapter 1 verse 1 is older than the beginning of Genesis chapter 1. Because in beginning of John chapter 1 verse 1, it said, in the beginning was the word. So John's own definition of beginning is a person. Moses' definition of beginning is a creation. So while Moses was defining beginning as an activity, John was defining beginning as a person. So when you go to the beginning, you will meet different things. There is a beginning that is an activity, and there is a beginning that is a person. The beginning that is a person is older than the beginning that is a creation. You know, Jesus was speaking in Matthew 19 verse 8. Hear what Jesus said. They were arguing about marriage. Hey. And Jesus looked at them and said, in the beginning it was not so. So there are many beginnings in the spirit. So the beginning Jesus was talking about there is where laws are made. The reason you say let a woman be divorced if he fornicates is because of your flesh, your fall. He said there's a place in wisdom where laws are created. So there is a place where the oracles of God come from within wisdom. It's also called in the beginning. So when you say in the beginning, you are looking at different shades of wisdom. There's a beginning that is God. There's a beginning that is an activity of creation. There's a beginning that is a place where the laws of God derive from. So if you go to the beginning where the laws of God dwell, you will become the law. That's where Moses went to on Mount Sinai. The reason he was able to come down with the 10 commandments was because he went to another beginning. The beginning where the oracles of God dwell. And so Moses did not just come with a law. The Bible said in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 15, it said when Moses is read, so Moses himself became the law. Because when you go there, you become it. I'm trying to tell you the power of wisdom in transforming you. If you go to where creation is, you'll become a creator. If you go to where the laws dwell, you become a law. And everywhere you stand, you are a reference to your generation. When the Bible said you have come to Mount Zion, the city of the living God, it's another kind of beginning. Because Mount Zion was not created. It's the dwelling of God. So there's a beginning where God lives. That's where the convergence of immortals take place. Every being that is created must travel back to that beginning where God dwells, if it will be part of God's purpose. If you have not gone there, you cannot handle or lead the purposes of God. You know, people stand up and start doing things. They don't know why it fails. It fails because it's not rooted in wisdom. If you don't go to the beginning where creation is, you can't create anything. You can only photocopy things. And if you try to create, it will be a failed project. If you don't go to the beginning where the laws of God dwells, your words can't carry authority. It can't carry power. Your words cannot become a law to a generation. If you don't go to the beginning where the immortals are summoned, you can't have a purpose in God. You will only follow those who have gone there. So when Moses climbed Horeb in Exodus chapter 3, he did not climb a physical mountain. He came to where purposes are given. That is another beginning. So wisdom is the key for victorious living. And you know what Jesus did for us? He simplified wisdom and made them capsules. So every word in scripture is a capsule of wisdom. You can carry one verse of the Bible. If your faith is able to interact with it, that can become a realm. That can become God. That can become power. That can become anything, because the scriptures therefore have become a congregation of the dimensions of wisdom. There is a scripture that will come alive in your spirit. That scripture will take you to the beginning that represents creation. And then suddenly you find yourself, you hear what the woman said. She said her word came. This woman had been working for more than 10 years without promotion, but her word came. The moment her word came, it didn't matter the bureaucracy for promotion. That word came with the promotion. And so those who are in the office, they have no choice but to sign the document. So you can be sleeping, you will wake up. You will not be able to sleep. The first thing in the morning, you will go to the office and sign the promotion. Because when the word came, it came with the power to promote her. And so whoever it is who is there, if you don't want to promote her, you'll be kicked away. That's why her boss was replaced. Because the word for the promotion came. This boss does not want to align, so he can't sit there. The boss had to be replaced for somebody else who will obey the word, to obey it. This is wisdom at work. Every verse of scripture is not just a dimension of wisdom, it's the fullness of the wisdom of God. When you catch it, it can bring you life, it can bring you power, it can bring you promotion, it can bring you anything it is you are seeking. But a generation have not explored the word. But you know what the apostles did? They sat on the word, they studied the word, they knew the word, they encountered the word, and they were able to write the word. John said that which was from the beginning, which our eyes have seen, our ears have heard, our hands have handled of the word of life. We heard of it, we saw it, we handled it, now we can communicate it. And so anybody who wants to live victoriously must begin to catch the word. When you catch the word, different dimensions of wisdom begins to crystallize. Your health can change, your status can change, your possibilities can change. So when you find people going through issues, the issues are not the problem. It is a lack of wisdom that is revealed through their crisis.